Hello and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. And we are taking a look on what is happening in the nation of Zimbabwe without fear, without favor. Last night, Comrade Geza came and addressed the nation, addressed the people of Zimbabwe. The biggest question is, will Zimbabweans support mass action if Comrade Geza continues to address without mentioning key issues? For example, the issue to do with electoral reforms, the issue to do with free, fair, credible elections. So I'm going to base my opinion on what the comment section was talking about largely. So the people, they seem to be in support of Comrade Geza, but I've been going through the comment section last night, and the major issue was talk much about free, fair, credible elections, talk much about electoral reforms. That is one of the key demands which I saw Zimbabweans are actually giving. And I saw a comment, someone saying, if you continue to talk and disregard the issue of free, fair elections, if you continue to disregard the issue of electoral reforms, it will continue to be a ZANU-PF thing. And that needs to be taken seriously because people are concerned. When it comes a point where you need people's assistance, they are likely not going to give you that much needed assistance. We saw it happening in the past, and this is very important. So we are looking at Zimbabwe at this point in time. There are two things which are very critical. So Comrade Geza need to understand, who is he appealing to? If he is appealing to the generals, then his message is good, it's correct, and up to the point. But if he's appealing to the people of Zimbabwe, especially the people in the urban areas, then you will need to reconfigure his message. You need to focus more on the issues which the people really want. People need to have free, fair, credible elections. And for us to have that, people need to see electoral reforms coming into effect or into play. So the generals will only need, we don't need to just bring change. The generals need to make sure or guarantee the people that we are going to have free, fair, credible elections, and we are going to have electoral reforms in the nation of Zimbabwe. And there is going to be no interference from the military in the next elections. That is what the people really want. So you are looking at two things which are shaping the society of Zimbabwe. Number one, we are talking about electoral reforms and the demand of free, fair, credible elections. And this is the cornerstone of the opposition's message. So everybody who supports the opposition, that is the cornerstone of their message. They are actually using massive society to rally this issue or to run a campaign on this issue. And many Zimbabweans, according to the people, to the comments, people are tired of disputed elections. People are tired of rigged elections, and they want to see electoral reforms. They want to see a reformed military. They want to see a military which is going to support the winner, not ZANU-PF. That is something which is very important. Then there is another issue, the second issue which shapes Zimbabwean politics so far. There are bread and butter issues, and we are bringing these issues because these are going to be the key determinants in terms of what happens next. Will the masses support Comrade Geza in the streets or not, whether they will support him or not? So it depends on what outweighs the other. So bread and butter issues of concern so far in the nation of Zimbabwe. Daily struggles, people are struggling daily. And as each day passes, if you read from March up to September right now, things have changed. Bread and butter issues are becoming more topical in most homes, which means to a greater extent, there is a possibility that the people will overlook the issue also of electoral reforms and might be forced to get into the streets based on bread and butter issues. But might then smuggle in the issue of electoral reforms once they get into the streets. There is a likelihood that if people are well organized and leadership pushes that to happen, people will then use that opportunity to demand also electoral reforms. So you could see that when you're looking at an ordinary person, the issue of jobs, everybody is talking about jobs. There are no jobs in the nation of Zimbabwe, and people are talking about that issue of jobs. There is an issue of inflation. Zimbabwe is using United States dollars, but the question is, why is it that prices continue to go up, when the US dollar itself is stable in other countries or in the countries of origin? What is changing? So the services are collapsing. Econet recently just announced that they are removing the $45 smart bits bundles. They are no longer there. So that is the collapse of services. You are seeing a lot of people, they are struggling to pay for services in terms of their assurance services or insurance services. People are failing to meet up with their medical aid, with their funeral policies. All those challenges and problems, they are coming into effect, and it also affected people. So you see that service providers, they are also failing to provide services as they are required. You go to the hospitals, there are no medicines. You go to schools, the teachers are not teaching as they are supposed to be doing. Your children will need to go through some extra lessons for them to catch up with the syllabus. So when you look at everything, you would understand that there is also corruption which is happening. Corruption is on the high rise. At this point in time, we have the most corrupt government in the SADC region or even in Africa, right here in the nation of Zimbabwe. Everything, you have to pay something for you to get a service, and all because corruption is on the rise. So when you are looking at all those issues, you will see that it's most likely that bread and butter issues will outweigh the need for electoral reforms and anything else, because it will come to a point where people say, okay, we no longer care about how change comes. All we need is for the Mnangagwa family to go. That will be the message at the end of the day. So I think that Comrade Geza, in his address, he did so well, he presented so well, and he touched the critical issues. But what is of concern is, it seems as if he is asking the generals to act. He's asking General Chiwenga to act. That is not what the people of Zimbabwe expect. The people of Zimbabwe want to be told what is going to happen next. That is what the people of Zimbabwe want. They don't need continuous appeals to the generals, to the military, whatsoever. But remember, in his message, even though he said some things which might be, or which might seem conflicting, there is a hidden message. He says, when action comes, and then later on appealed to the generals to act. So there are two things right there. Assures the people of Zimbabwe that action is coming, then appeals to the generals for them to act. So it seems as if there is a hidden message right there. If you look at that, there is a hidden message, and I think the people of Zimbabwe did well in terms of trying to analyze and understand the message itself last night from what Comrade Geza said. So if Comrade Geza keeps on avoiding talking about what people within the opposition think is very important, you will see that there's going to continue to have, people are going to continuously have some suspicion, and also they won't compromise. That is another challenge which is likely going to face. So, and also what you need to realize is there is a group of people which is focused more on immediate economic relief. So that is a group of people which is going to give him a chance. Remember, when he called people into the streets, that group gave him a chance. But there is a likelihood that if he calls for mass protests in the streets, that group is going to be bigger than what was there in around March. So that is a fact. Also, we need to understand that Zimbabwe is polarized politically. So people no longer trust people from ZANU-PF. So there is need to build trust with the masses. There is need to build trust with the people, because people will say, okay, tinobvisa Mnangagwa, tomureplace nemumwe munhu ari far west than Mnangagwa again. So there is need for clarity. Who is going to form the next government? Who is going to be part and parcel of that government? Is it a grouping of ZANU-PF people, or it's going to be an inclusive agenda? So from what I heard from other people, they are saying if Team G40 is going to be leading whatever which will happen, people won't get into the streets. But if General Chiwenga comes in, President Chamisa comes in, and the G40 leadership comes in, then the people will have some sense of security because of the involvement of Nelson Chamisa there. So that is what other people believe in, and they're saying. So in short, we are talking about the urban area being the key area of focus. The urban youth, you know, the base of the activists, those are very, very important. But when you look at it, it's most unlikely that they will support Comrade Geza without the message of electoral reforms. So then you look at the people in the rural areas. The people in the rural areas, you cannot include them much in this whole issue, because they are of little effect. If it is not about the issue of elections, they are of little effect, because kumamisha hakuna political activity inoitika inogona kubvisa hurumende pasina election. So you see it kuti unless there is transportation of people from the rural areas to the urban area. So the areas of focus, the cities of focus will be Harare, Bulawayo, Mtare, Marondera, Chinoi, Bindura. Those are the areas of focus if something is to happen in the nation of Zimbabwe, according to the people I've talked to. So it's something, it's a very complex situation right now in the nation of Zimbabwe. So everyone is eagerly waiting to see what will be next, what will be the next move of Comrade Geza. Is he going to continue address the people, or is going to come, act, and bring the solution to the problems which the people of Zimbabwe are facing? So this is my take. This is what I think from what Comrade Geza said last night. I just want to take a few comments right here. I just want to acknowledge Coletta. Thank you very much for coming and for the contribution. Edson says ZANU-PF, ZANU Chikwambo Chaicho. Okay, Mahogany says ZANU-PF can be removed by ZANU-PF, not elections. We need Geza revolution to fight Mnangagwa and his Rigananda. You know, we are not in dispute that ZANU-PF can be removed by ZANU-PF, but the issue is people are saying, if you want us to be part and parcel of whatever which you are doing, if you want us to support you, you have to include the issues of electoral reforms, include the issues of the military not interfering in the future elections of Zimbabwe. People are not talking about today's elections. People are saying, okay, if you want to remove the government of Emerson, you are free to do so, you can remove it, but assure us that in the future, you are going to hold free, fair, credible elections. That is the message which I decoded from the comments which I read last night, because I was going through the comments. That is what my understanding from those comments. Okay, Temba says regime change doesn't work. A complete change must be done. Yes, there is a need to have a complete overhaul. We need to have ZANU-PF gone totally, completely. That is what is going to make this nation better. As long as ZANU-PF continues to be there, we'll continue to have the same problems. Mashinge says, what matters most is a confrontational revolution. Mnangagwa will not flick a finger unless taken head on. Take the bull by the horns. So, you know, it's a matter of Comrade Geza himself to see through how they're going to do it. But they'll need the masses, they'll need the support of the people, they'll need to have support from the people. So that is the reason why they will have to compromise and change a little bit in terms of their message, such that it appeals to everyone and it covers everyone. So Chamber says Geza strategies do not work. Erisha stands another baram. So okay, so this is it in Zimbabwe. This is what we have for you, and your thoughts and your views. I've given you my thinking. I've given you my analysis from last night's address, as well as what the people in the comment section were saying. So these are my key takeaways. Let us meet in other episodes and other broadcasts.